Hey band.
Hi everyone.
Hey Symphonic Band.
Hey band.
Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well.
Hey band.
Hey Symphonic Band.
Playing Give Us This Day on our last concert.
Performing Give Us This Day with Mr. Schneider.
Definitely our most recent concert.
Everything pulled together when we performed it, and it was like everyone was truly playing from their hearts.
Where the Bach chorale comes in at the end. We played it so loud and so well that time.
Being able to play around such talented musicians and play such challenging music.
One of my favorite memories from this past semester was falling asleep in the middle of the percussion part on Give Us This Day when they were playing their loudest.
Band bowling night with you all and doing those epic trick shots.
We would all do the same trick, like lying down and like pushing the ball or doing it left-handed and stuff. You know, we weren't so high up there in points, but it was a lot of fun.
The picnic when we couldn't get the fire to start and the burgers were getting a little bit rawer than we thought they'd be.
Something from this year that I will always remember is the Christmas party in December. I was able to connect more with several of my bandmates, and it was a great time of fun and fellowship.
Christmas Fest, getting to partake with all of the choirs and the different ensembles with Mr. Schneider to celebrate the coming of Jesus.
After being part of the Christmas Fest and getting to know the band better through the reception afterwards just made me realize that I really wanted to be part of this amazing community.
There were a lot of funny, hilarious conversations and fun skipping and random things that I really enjoyed.
During the opening moments of our first piece of Christmas Festival, the first clarinets were ready to come in, and then I was the only one that played. As I was playing, I looked to my right and I saw Eric pull his swab out of his instrument, and I had to try so hard not to laugh.
So one day during rehearsal, we were just playing a piece, and then Mr. Schneider stops all of a sudden, points right at Luke, and says, "You know who you look like? You look exactly like Ferdinand."
You remind me of Ferdinand the Bull.
And later Luke made a photo of himself in Ferdinand, and it was so funny.
It was definitely when the saxophone quartet played a Bach quartet, but we did not transpose it, and we're transposing the instrument, so as you can imagine, it sounded really bad. We went Chick-fil-A many times, and even one time on the way back, we saw a toilet on the side of the road. Thought that'd be a perfect opportunity to have someone sit on it, so we stopped, of course, and Luke sat on it.
Was when we found out that Lindsay had gotten engaged, and the entire saxophone section bugged her about getting invited to her wedding.
My favorite memory from band this year is doing band dinners.
Things that happen at dinner, whether they're really odd jokes or food combinations that are really wonky, those would just make your evening.
Our post-dress rehearsal dinners.
When the band cabinet had to have our meeting in the elevator in Armourding, that was really funny, and we had to focus even with all these people coming in the elevator to use it.
One fun memory I have from band over the years is going to Dr. Jantz's house for the Super Bowl parties. Those were always super fun, getting to hang out with all of you there.
The flutes, because they were always collaborative, always on top of things, always doing their best.
I love my flute section so much. They are all such wonderful people. I felt so blessed to also get to know Amanda better because she really brought me out of my shell and encouraged me to get to know other people in the band.
A huge shout out to Amanda. Thank you for your joy and being such an amazing friend to everybody in the whole band.
Someone else that really impacted me this year was Amanda. She was just so kind to me, and she barely even knew me, and we became really good friends. It was awesome. So I love her a lot.
Sylvia Etherington, she's been a real great friend to me and so many other people. She's really kind and caring, and I think she's made a really great social chair this year.
A section this year that has really impacted me has been the percussion section. They were super flexible this year. They were really just fine players and nailed it this year. Shout out to Josh on the piano, Jamie on the xylophone, Gaze for conducting, and especially Tim for setting up the section early every day.
I think Morgan deserves a lot of credit for being percussion section leader as well as her cabinet position. She did a lot of time making sure that we all got fair parts and stuff. And thanks Mr. Schneider for choosing music with a lot of percussion.
The percussion section, they have so much to do
so much on their plate with getting to rehearsal early and leaving late because of all the equipment they have to get out and put away. They just have a great attitude about it and band, and they're just great models of commitment and closeness within their section.
Micah and Michaela, they were both, again, just such a great welcome to the Symphonic Band and the clarinet section.
The clarinet section, because they took us flutists in to be a part of their clarinet dinners every week.
The clarinets, I think, really bring fun and also technical excellence to the band.
Shout out to the horn section for being phenomenal and giving me new goals to set my eyes on in the future. And just thank you for all of you. You've made my freshman year just so much better.
Being in the Wheaton College Symphonic Band has really changed my life. It was my first experience being in a college-level band, and I just had so much fun.
One of the things I love about Mr. Schneider is how much he clearly loves what he does. I'm thinking specifically of one of the rehearsals where he was playing a piece and then he's just sitting up there like basically dancing and cueing all the individual parts in.
He has stepped up to the plate and has demonstrated the willingness to learn and to adapt to the band and our needs, has really made me respect him and admire him for the work that he is doing with us.
Mr. Schneider, I really appreciate him or you because of how you bring us together as a band.
I really have just appreciated everything he's done for us and how much work you've put in and just putting everything aside, even though you're already so busy, just giving us so much of your attention, and we thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much for being, the best director I've ever had.
The section that's made the biggest impact on me is honestly the band cabinet. I've been really impressed with how this group of you have worked over the last week or so to just make the semester come to a really nice close, even though it's not what any of us expected.
I'm very thankful for my trumpet section this semester and all the support that they've given me in the past few weeks and helping me out play and get adjusted to school as I started.
All you high school students, we really appreciate you and value you, and thank you for playing with us this year. We could not have been able to do what we did this year had you not played with us.
David, for bringing the beautiful, rich tuba sounds that the ensemble needed, and it's been a pleasure playing with you.
I'd like to give a shout out to Faith Lemke. She was always my barefoot bass clarinet buddy. Now to be the barefoot basement bass buddies. It's a long time, but she was always there right next to me, and we would always be cracking up over crazy notes or bass runs we had to do.
At least I have to call out the saxophone section just because they're like brothers to me and I love them very much. As well as the cabinet. The cabinet this year has been phenomenal and I am incredibly thankful for them.
In the last concert, and I realized I did not have the right piece of music on my stand. So Wes reaches over, grabs my stand, and pulls the paper over. So he was helping me out there, so very thankful for Wes.
I think the saxophone section has had a positive impact on all of us this year. They are a group of very talented musicians who work really well together, and they've contributed a lot to the sense of community that we have in this band.
One senior who means a lot to me in the band is Brendan.
Brendan Altieri.
It's been great playing next to him for 2 years, and I'm going to miss him a lot next year.
I really appreciate Brendan's thoughtfulness and just this sense of inner peace that I get from him.
And Brendan's just been a great student leader this year. As a bass trombone, he's done a good job of increasing the energy of a piece by laying waste to the land.
A senior that really impacted me this year was Ellie.
Ellie
DeSlacone.
Ellie.
She is just such a light and a joy.
She had encouraging words to say to everyone. She's so positive towards everyone.
Really intentionally important to people's lives, and not just by being there, but she cares to share what she's learned.
She is an amazing person, and she really brought the section together.
Teaching me how to have a positive attitude.
Really leads with technical excellence, but also grace and encouragement.
Brought life to the band.
She was always very warm, so I appreciated that. Thanks, Ellie.
A senior that has impacted me this past year, well, really my whole time in band, is Lindsay.
Lindsay?
Our president.
Lindsay.
Because she's truly a servant leader.
Just loves the band so much and has been a really good leader to us.
When I came to Wheaton as a freshman, she was very welcoming.
led in a lot of silent ways with enthusiasm.
As the president, has done so much for the band, especially because of the constant change, and we just love her so much.
And getting to see the way that she listens and cares so well for the band.
She was Mr. Schneider's right-hand lady.
One student in the band who's made a huge impact on me is Gaius Lee. He conducted us for Now's the Time and was going to for the next concert cycle as well, so I'm sad that he wasn't able to do that because I just love his musicianship. The way he conducts, for some reason, makes me want to play perfectly for him. Gaius Lee is someone I really look up to and strive to be like one day.
Probably Gaius and Brendan, and I think primarily just admiring them as leaders and as also future conductors and composers, and I think that's been really, really cool to work with both of them.
Another person who's been impactful to me in the band is Noah Benson. I really appreciate his 4-year commitment to the band, and he's been a great leader of this section, and I just really admire him.
I actually want to give a shout out to Noah. He was student conducting this last semester. However, first semester we had the opportunity to be in jazz band together, and hearing him solo and just being able to work with him in that close of a proximity just really inspired me, because how much joy he could produce just through playing his instrument was absolutely outstanding. And that's something that I aspire to be able to do someday.
Eric Anthony, a senior percussionist, has made a positive impact on me this year. He knows a lot about both band and percussion, and he's always eager and willing to help with any questions about either of these things.
I'm also grateful for all the other seniors that have impacted me. They've really helped me with staying focused and staying strong with my work ethic.
I can't really pick a favorite senior. I love you all. I hope you can all come back and play with us again next year.